Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am just going to be giving you the latest news on Ed Woodward. Then after that I'm going to go through with you how Manchester United could line up next season with signings. So Ed Woodward today spoke to our investors on a conference call, and he has revealed our latest financial figures. Now, reportedly, Manchester United's debt has risen up again. It does say here that the club have announced that the net debt has risen to 429.1 million amid the ongoing coronavirus crisis, with the club no longer predicting revenues of up to 580 million. This is also Woodward's also mentioned this on his statement as well. He also labelled the current situations as one of the most extraordinary and testing periods in the club's 140-year history, but insisted Manchester United is a resilient club and company. We are well positioned to navigate the crisis. So these are the stuff that Ed Woodward has come out and said today during the conference call with the investors. And it also said that Woodward is optimistic that the Premier League action will restart in June and that. So there you go. And I think it did say, this coronavirus pandemic has cost us around £28 million, but we expect the final figure to be much higher than that. So there you go. Let's see what else it says here. I'm reading it here in the Mirror. Woodward's statement to invest on returning to action. Well, it's too soon to know with any certainty if or when these measures can be fully relaxed. We are optimistic that it will soon be possible to resume playing football. Our men's first team has begun a phase returning to training this week with rigorous medical protocols in place or manage risks and that. So these are some of the stuff that Ed Woodward has come out and said. So that is the latest news on him. But, he's had this conference call today with the investors and that. But I do believe, we've probably, still got the funds to sign Jadon Sancho and other players, that we do want to sign in the summer. I was also just reading the Daily Express, by the way, and they've mentioned now that Saul Niguez to Manchester United is unlikely. He also mentioned that Moussa Dembele to Manchester United is unlikely because they've also been two players on our agenda. It reflects on the latest financial results, and it said, we can't get Saul Niguez and, we can't get Moussa Dembele because obviously, reports were coming out the other week, not too long ago actually, saying that allegedly Saul Niguez to Manchester United is a done deal. These reports were stemming out from Spain. It did say, we're going to get Saul Niguez for around £70 million. That's around, obviously, half than Saul Niguez's release clause, because his release clause is around £130 million, Saul Niguez is. But I don't think a lot of Manchester United fans believed in, the saga regarding Saul Niguez anyway. Obviously, Saul Niguez has still got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. He signed a 9-year contract back in 2017, and we have been seeing Saul Niguez as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Saul Niguez has spent the vast majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think this has been now his 12th season with Atletico Madrid, so he has been a long-serving player for them. And I think made around 384 appearances in all competitions, did as Saul Niguez, and he is only in his mid-20s. Can play as a defensive midfielder and can also play as a central midfielder. When he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half. So looking likely now, Saul Niguez is out of the equation. The news on Moussa Dembele. Reports were coming out the other week saying that, we've allegedly agreed a fee in the region of £62 million for Moussa Dembele. And like I mentioned to you now, I would take Moussa Dembele at Manchester United because he did reveal, Moussa Dembele, that he would find it hard to turn down a move to the football club. And also he did say that he wants to come to Manchester United, and that, don't forget, also to Chelsea have been in for him. But looking likely now, Moussa Dembele is, out of the equation and that. So, so that is the latest news on that. Like I said anyway, Ed Woodward has been talking a lot in recent weeks. Don't forget Ed Woodward did say last month, we will not do business as usual in the summer transfer market due to the coronavirus pandemic, and he basically ruled out big transfers to Manchester United. But I think he did say, was it around 2 or 3 weeks ago, that he said he insists that he will back Solskjaer. He said that quite a few times this season. And he also said, we will remain highly competitive in the summer transfer market. So this is what Ed Woodward has come out and said. Obviously, Solskjaer's been, talking a lot recently. Like I said, Solskjaer's got decisions to make in the summer, of what players he's going to recommend in, and, what players, he's going to, get rid of and stuff like that. So there's a lot of decisions to make. Like I said regarding Ed Woodward, he's been at Manchester United since 2012, as Ed Woodward. And, don't forget Man United have been very, very critical of him, especially this season. The main explanations why Ed Woodward's been criticised is obviously, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been in the last 6 or 7 years. He's also been criticised for us overpaying for players, because we have overpaid for players in recent years and stuff like that. So this is why Ed Woodward has been criticised in that, And obviously, it confirmed quite a few weeks ago that, he's no longer interested in getting a director of football in. Man United are not interested in getting a director of football in. So we'd abandoned our search, because we was in search for a director of football for a couple of years. We was in search for one. There was quite a few names linked with a role at Manchester United. But, the main explanation why I think Ed Wood is no longer interested in getting one in is reflecting on the impact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made. So there you go. So that is the latest news on all of that. You saw my video that I did, I think it was this morning. And, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was discussing, the issues that we had with our squad last season. He did say, the players were physically tired, there was physically tired, there was mentally tired, and we had injuries and stuff like that. He also said this is what also he mentioned, he'd rather have a hole in the squad than an arsehole. He'd rather have a hole in the squad than an arsehole. And Solskjaer, it's been one of the biggest tasks since he became Manchester United manager. He's getting rid of bad attitudes and that. So, in a way, reflecting on what he said recently, he's having a dig at Romelu Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez. Because obviously, Lukaku and Alexis Sanchez did depart the football club last summer because of bad attitudes. And obviously, Solskjaer did say that we haven't got any bad apples in our dressing room. We haven't got any bad apples in our dressing room. And he did say, we won't tolerate any personal agendas. Because he did make the admission, Solskjaer, that, we have had personal agendas at Manchester United. But, he did insist, we will not tolerate that. He was also talking about how important the personality is. He says we are a team in a team environment. So these are some of the stuff that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said today and that. But like I mentioned on my previous video that I did, Man United have got to make we've got to make quite a few decisions before the season does resume. Obviously, we've got to make a decision on Odion Ighalo's future, because we've not yet made a decision on Odion Ighalo's future. James Cooper from Sky Sports came out today and he said, that Manchester United do remain relaxed over Odion Ighalo's future. Don't forget his loan spell at the football club does expire on the 31st of May, which is like 9 days away now. Obviously, Odion Ighalo did reveal that he wants his loan deal at the football club extended. I don't know if we've entered any negotiations yet over extending his loan. I think we're looking to extend Odion Ighalo's loan until next month or July. But Shanghai Shenhua did say that they expect Odion Ighalo to return, in time for the start of the new Chinese Super League season. And I think that starts in July. Obviously, Shanghai Shenhua confirmed the other week if they were to get rid of Odion Ighalo permanently, they would want around £20 million to get rid of him permanently. But maybe we've got reservations, about paying £20 million to get Odion Ighalo permanently. And that. But we did pay around £4 million to get Odion Ighalo on loan. We paid £4 million to get Odion Ighalo on loan, and I think his wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week. Don't get me wrong, Ighalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. He's got, 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, and he has been a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford and stuff like that. But, yeah. So, in a way, we are facing a dilemma. We are facing a dilemma with Odion Ighalo. So, we need to make a decision now on his future. Like I said, we need to know what's happening with Paul Pogba. We've also got to make a decision on Paul Pogba's future as well, because there has been a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at the football club. There's been a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at the football club and that. I expect Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United for next season. Obviously, I'm very, very excited about the prospect of Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because that would be the best midfield in the Premier League without a shadow of a doubt. And that, like I said, Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga since he rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016. I've stuck to what I said. If Paul Pogba does leave the football club, I think he will make a return back to Turin, because I just think he will. And obviously, like I mentioned, swap deals have been on the agenda. There's obviously, been talks of Rabiot coming in, Aaron Ramsey, Milan Panjanic, Douglas Costa. Matthijs de Ligt's also been mentioned quite a few times as well. But swap deals have been on the agenda. Don't forget, Real Madrid have been in for Paul Pogba. Confirmed a couple of weeks ago that Real Madrid had dropped their interest in him. But revert back to last summer, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with Paul Pogba. We said, though, we wanted £180 million for him last summer, and Real Madrid were not willing to meet our asking price and that. But yeah, there you go. And Paul Pogba now is back from injury, which is very, very positive news, because Paul Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club due to his injuries. He's only played 8 times this season for the football club. But it's good to see him back now. It really, really is, because, Paul Pogba has been stepping up his fitness regime. He's been stepping up his fitness regime and that. And like I said, before the football season got suspended, Paul Pogba was close to full fitness anyway, because he had one-on-one sessions with Michael Carrick. And Solskjaer did confirm a couple of weeks ago anyway that we have got a fully fit squad for when the season does resume. Like I said, we did return to training yesterday, which is very, very good news. Don't forget, clubs are training in smaller groups, because the Premier League confirmed on a statement on Monday that clubs voted to return to smaller training groups and that. So this is one step forward to resuming the season. The football season's been suspended now for a good, is it 9 or 10 weeks? I think it's something like that. The first game back is Tottenham. The first Premier League game back is Tottenham and Man United, and it is live on Friday Night Football. The season is resuming sometime in June. I think is it on the 18th, 19th? It could start on the 12th of June, depending on the fitness levels and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just good, to see football coming back. It really, really is. Don't forget, the Bundesliga did resume recently. Like I said, we've got Rashford back now, which is very, very good. He's recovered from his back injury, because he's been at Carrington anyway in the last couple of weeks, to get treatment and to step up his fitness regime and that. But we've had a lot of injuries this season. Reflecting on that, we've obviously, had to make a lot of rotation in the squad. Solskjaer's probably looking to make rotation in the squad, when the football season does resume and that. So there you go. Pogba's got a year left in his contract with an option of a further year. Like I said, if we was to sell him this summer, would want at least £100 million for the player and that. And in recent weeks, Inter Milan and PSG have also been in for him. But yeah, so we need to make a decision on his future. I think we've also got to make a decision on Diego Dalot, because he's been subjected to transfer speculation recently. Like I said, Barcelona and PSG have expressed their interest in Diego Dalot. Solskjaer's give his overarching view on it, and he expects Diego Dalot to stay. Well, he wants him to stay at Manchester United. I know Diego Dalot's appearances have been limited at the football club this season. His appearances have been limited. He's only made one start in the Premier League this season as Diego Dalot. But he's obviously now back up right back to Wan-Bissaka. Diego Dalot's been at the football club since 2010, the summer of 2018, we recommended Diego Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, and we paid £19 million for him from Porto. And Dalot's got a contract with us until 2023. So there you go. So maybe Solskjaer does believe he's the foreseeable future for Man United. I think also too, Solskjaer should give the youngsters more opportunities. Give the young players more opportunities in that. Because I've credited Solskjaer for that. He has promoted the youth very, very well. But I think he needs to give more of the youngsters opportunities because, young players have found their appearances limited at the football club. Chong, his appearances have been limited. Maybe he should get more chances when the season resumes. James Garner's appearances have definitely been limited at the football club. Don't forget, we're going to allow James Garner to go out on loan next season. Angel Gomez, he's only made 6 first team appearances this season. And that's another decision we've got to make. We've got to make a decision on that Angel Gomez's future. I think we do want to keep Angel Gomez, but I do expect Angel Gomez to leave at the end of next month when his current contract expires, because we've put forward a few contract offers for Angel Gomez, but there's no signs of him signing a new contract at Manchester United. So I think, he's definitely leaving the football club. So there you go. And so Man United have got, big decisions to make before the football season does resume and that. And, when the season does resume, we have got things to look forward to. Don't forget, we are chasing the top 4. Obviously, we're sitting fifth at the moment. We are sitting 3 points behind Chelsea. And, I'm definitely convinced we can get qualification for the Champions League for next season. Hopefully we can get qualification for the Champions League. Like I said, Solskjaer will be under pressure to keep the good run of form up, because before the football season got suspended, we was in a good vein of form. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions and that. So hopefully we can keep this good run up when the season does resume. And that. And, like I said, we've got the FA Cup, we've got the Europa League, we're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, we're into the last 8 of the Europa League, and they are chances of us getting some silverware on the board under Solskjaer and that. Don't forget, Solskjaer came out a couple of weeks ago and did make the admission saying, that we're going to enjoy a different transfer window, to the recent ones that we've enjoyed and that. But I think we can enjoy the perfect summer transfer window, like I've mentioned, because, a lot of clubs are going to face an unprecedented summer transfer window and that. The top 6 sides do fear our transfer strategy They do fear our transfer strategy. They do fear our transfer strategy for the summer and that. So there you go. Like I mentioned to you before, these are around 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. And obviously, that's something else we've got to resolve. But, to be fair, a lot of players' contracts have been extended, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended into the football club. I have taken positives from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure, like I said. Our record against the big 6 sides this season's been very, very good. Obviously, there's positives to take. There really, really is positive to take. I think, players have improved under Solskjaer. Like I said, he's promoted the youth and that very, very well. But don't get me wrong, there's still things Solskjaer needs to work on. And I think there's another thing he's got to make a decision on as well. I think he's got to work out his best 11. So it'll be interesting to see what 11 Solskjaer does put out in the game against Tottenham, when the football season does resume. I think he's got to work out on his best formation as well, because we have been changing formation persistently this season. We've been going with a 4-2-3-1 a lot. We've gone with a 4-3-3 a few times. We've gone that 3-5-2 a few times. But personally speaking, I think we look more expansive with that 3-5-2 formation. We're really, really doing that. Solskjaer's been mainly going with 3 at the back in the games against elite opposition. So there you go and that. So definitely there's things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to work on. Don't forget, Solskjaer, was talking about how much he's changed Manchester United since replacing Jose Mourinho in December 2018. He said this, before the football season got suspended. And I have, he has changed things as Solskjaer at the football club. He really, really has in that. So there you go. The players that I do expect to leave Manchester United in the summer, I expect Lingard to go. I expect Andres Pereira to go. I expect Jones to go. there's a possibility chance Pogba could still go. I also expect Gomez to go. Sanchez will probably go back out on loan because we won't be able to get rid of him permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. Smalling and Rojo will go on permanent transfers, but I think it did confirm that we've extended Smalling, Rojo's and Sanchez's loans. We've extended their loan spells because their current loan spells were due to expire at the end of next month and that. So definitely no players will leave Manchester United in the summer. But Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club, which is very, very good. Obviously, he's let some players go on permanent transfers. He's let some, players go out on loan and that. I think a total of 19 players have been offloaded since Solskjaer came in, including, quite a few of the young players he's also got rid of as well. So there you go and that. So that is the latest news on all of that. Now I am going to give you, I'm going to go through with you, how Manchester United could line up next season. So, how Manchester United could line up next season. David De Gea in goal. Wan-Bissaka at right back. Wan-Bissaka at right back. Lindelof and Harry Maguire as a centre-back partnership. Luke Shaw at left back. The three in the midfield. Bruno Fernandes. Paul Pogba and Jack Grealish. That's the midfield. And then on the left, Marcus Rashford. On the right, Jadon Sancho. And up top, Anthony Martial. So I think, that's how Manchester United could line up next season if, we do sign Jack Grealish and, of course, Jadon Sancho. Solskjaer has obviously, said that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings in the summer to become title contenders next season and that. Because this has been the 7th season we've failed to mount any title challenge up, because we have been inconsistent for the last 6 or 7 years. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season, last time we won the Premier League and that. And, and Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Man United like he did do last summer. Don't forget Fred came out, was it last week, like he updated you, and he's actually, instructed Solskjaer to get Brazilian players into the football club. Because we haven't really got a long history of Brazilian players, have we? Let's be honest. We've only got, Pereira and Fred that are only our Brazilian players now at the club. I think Fred is the 7th Brazilian player to represent Man United. I think before we had the likes of Kleberson, Anderson, Rafael da Silva and Fabio da Silva, who of course were Brazilian as well. But still wants to recommend young players into the football club, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. And he's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. So there you go. But I've got to make an admission, we have really improved in the transfer market as well under Solskjaer. What I mean is I think we've been a bit more sensible with our recruitment, and Solskjaer's recommended the players in that he wanted to recommend in. Because so far he's recommended 5 players into the football club and spent £220 million. And in the summer, it will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager in that. But I hope things can work out under Solskjaer. Like I said, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked earlier on in the season. He was very, very close to getting sacked. And obviously, at that point, there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. There was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. Obviously, Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United before, Solskjaer got appointed as permanent Manchester United manager back in March. Obviously, Danny Rose, former Tottenham players, give his verdict on, and he believes Pochettino will eventually end up managing Manchester United and stuff like that. So there you go. And that. But like I've said to you, we have been playing catch up for the last 6 or 7 years, and we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. There's players that we've got rid of over the years who we shouldn't have got rid of. I think, you can say we made a mistake by giving Solskjaer the job permanently, but we're giving the job permanently reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Ferguson obviously, made a mistake, and the only mistake he did make was recommending David Moyes in. Like I've mentioned, there's players, that we shouldn't have given new contracts to. I think Solskjaer's made a lot of wrong decisions against, lower opposition teams this season, so that's another mistake. You know, we haven't been so good against lower opposition this season, to be quite honest with you. You know, so we have actually, you know, made quite a lot of mistakes in that. And it's a transition period for Solskjaer, like he revealed at the beginning of the year. He's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era. You know, we have sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho on that. But in the last 6 or 7 years, we spent close to the £1 billion range on recruiting players in. We have recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. You know, that's how many players, you know, we have recruited in and that. Obviously, you know, the vast majority of the players we had under Fergie have now left. You know, there's only a couple of players in now we've got from the Ferguson era, and that's De Gea and Phil Jones. It was actually, you know, Louis van Gaal that got rid of the vast majority of the players that we had under Ferguson. Obviously, you know, the vast majority of the players Van Gaal recommended into the club have now gone. There's only a couple here now from the Louis Van Gaal era. There's still a lot of players here now from the Jose Mourinho era, who Jose Mourinho, of course, recommended in to the football club. So there you go. But do you feel as though the expectations are too high for Solskjaer at the football club? Do you think he's the foreseeable future for Manchester United? And time will tell. It really, really will. But we haven't dominated football since the Ferguson era. Of course, Ferguson endured 26 years at Man United. You know, won a total of 38 major honours. And obviously, don't forget though, from 1986 to 1990, Ferguson didn't win out. So he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club and that. You know, obviously, you know the news on Sancho. There's been a lot of positivity coming out regarding Jadon Sancho recently. Obviously, like I updated you on my previous video today, we have set our minimum transfer. We set our minimum transfer terms for Sancho. Reportedly, Dortmund are not willing to let him go for less than £107 million. This is what, you know, that's what's being said. And reportedly now, Borussia Dortmund are waiting for the transfer market to stabilise before selling Jadon Sancho. David Ornstein's been talking a lot about Jadon Sancho recently. You know, he says that he's likely to join Manchester United in the summer. This is what David Ornstein said. And he did, you know, say Man United do remain the favourites to sign him, but we have been the favourites for quite some time. David Ornstein did say last week that Sancho will not be sold for less than £100 million because Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. So hopefully we can get Sancho on the board. Hopefully we can. You know, because he's our number one priority target. You know, you already know the news on Jack Grealish. I give you the news on Grealish earlier on today. Is it Alan Hutton? He came out and said that it's impossible for Villa to keep Grealish if Villa do get relegated and that, because as it stands at the moment, Villa are sitting in the bottom 3 and that. Villa do remain ruthless over their valuation, like they've mentioned recently. They do want £80 million for Grealish, whether Aston Villa are relegated or not. And recently just purchased a guide dog for $25,000 following the robbery of Dele Alli and that. So he's another one of our priority targets. You already know the news on Jude Bellingham. He also mentions want to get Jude Bellingham in. We also want to get his brother as part of the deal, Joe Bellingham. You know, Jude Bellingham's going to cost us in the region of £30 million. Don't forget, we've made a promise to Jude Bellingham that we'll give him first team football. You know, he will immediately become a first team player if, you know, we do sign him in the summer and that. So there you go. The other was it yesterday? I give you the news on Adam Traore from Wolves. Manchester United being recently linked with him as well. So there has been so many players on our agenda and that. So there you go. And that's really everything to update you with today, guys, on this video. So just wanted to give you the latest news on, you know, our latest financial results, because Ed Woodward has had a conference call today with our investors, and he's, you know, revealed our latest financial results. And obviously, you know, our net debt has risen up again. Obviously, it's risen to 429.1 million. So there you go. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.